Hello, dear students. Good evening. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today, I'm here again with a new video. And as the name you are seeing on the screen, this video will showcase the solution paper of this year's computer science theory paper. That is ISC Computer Science 2025 theory papers solution. So without a delay, let's begin. Let's go by one. As the theory paper is divided in part 1 and part 2. Part 1 consists of compulsory questions, from which the first part is MCQ questions. So as you can see, question 1. The question here is the complement of a Boolean expression a dot b bar plus b bar dot c is, 4 options are there. What will be the correct answer? I've given the answer. Option C is the correct answer, which is a bar plus b dot b plus c bar, and both the terms are within the bracket. Now, if we go through the working, you can see here it is clearly described. A complement is formed by forming or by applying De Morgan's law. So when I apply a dot b bar plus b bar dot c whole bar, by applying De Morgan's law, first it is broken a dot b bar whole bar dot b bar dot c whole bar, which further again applied to De Morgan's law, and the result comes as a bar plus b within bracket dot b plus c bar within bracket. Let's move to the next question. It is assertion reason question. Given below the two statements. First is the expression not of x dot y, plus y is equivalent to x bar dot y bar. The reason, the commutative property of logical operators states that the order of the operands does not change the result of the binary operation. Now let us see the answer. The answer here is both the assertion statement and the reason statements are true. But the reason is not the correct explanation of the assertion. Why that is so? You can see the explanation. X plus y whole bar, by applying De Morgan's law, it's come to x bar dot y bar, which is very much valid as per the assertive statement. Now, commutative law state x plus y equals to y plus x. Both are true statements as per the laws, but there is no relation between the two laws, that is De Morgan's law and commutative. Let's move to the next question. According to the principle of duality, 1 plus y dot x plus y equals to y plus x bar will be equivalent to, you have to find the dual. Keep it in mind. Now, principle of duality states that all 1s should be changed to 0 and vice versa. All 0s should be changed to and vice versa. But the complement should remain unchanged. Hence, 1 will replace to 0, plus will replace to 1, y is at it as it is at, again dot replace to plus, x remains same, plus change to dot, y remains same. Finally, again in the right side, y remains same, plus return change to dot, x bar remains same. So in the answer is option B. Let's move to the next question. Number 4. The associative law states that. Here the correct answer is option D. You can see in Boolean expression or Boolean algebra, the associative law refers to the idea that the grouping of variables does not affect the result of the operation. These laws apply to both and or operations. Thus, if I go through associative law for or, the answer is A plus within bracket B plus C equals to A plus B within bracket plus C. And the associative law for with AND is A dot within bracket B dot C equals to within bracket A dot B dot C. So hence the correct answer is option D. Let's move to the next question, question 5. Question 5 here mentioned. Consider the statement given, the code statement, class public person, int age, public person int age, this dot age equals to age. Which of the following statements are valid for the given code? First statement is the keyword this in the constructor refers to the current instance of the class. The keyword this differentiate between the instance variable age and the parameter age. This keyword can only be used in constructor. Now, out of them, which are the true statements? Let us see the answer. Here, option A, that is only 1 and 2 are correct. Why? Because this keyword can only be used in constructor is a false statement. This keyword refers to the current object whose function is being called. So it can be a constructor, it can be a method. So this can be applied to any object within a function or a constructor, both. Let's move to the next question. Given below again two statements. Assertion, break statement false fall through effect in switch case construct. Break statement enables unnatural exit from the loop. Here again the answer is option B, assertion and reasons are correct or true, but reason is not the correct explanation for assertion. Why? See the explanation. Break can be used in both switch as well as loop. But the purpose of break in switch and loop are not same. In switch, it is used to prevent fall through, whereas in loop, it is used to exit the premature loop or exit the loop prematurely. Understood? Next question. Here is given a canonical expression. F, Boolean function f, p, having the literals p, q, r is pi 257. You have to get the cardinal value. So the correct answer here is option A. Why? So 2 is decimal value 2 having binary form. Then, sorry, here it will be binary form 1010. It is mentioned wrong. This is incorrectly given. This should be the correct one. Here the correct answer would be 010. Okay, 5 is 101 and 7 is 111. So 010 is represented by P plus Q bar plus R. Whereas 101 will be represented by P bar plus Q plus R bar. And 111 will be represented by P bar plus Q bar plus R bar. Thus, the correct answer here is the max term will represent the complement of the literal for every one and the literal itself for every 0 in each term. So the option A is the correct answer. Next question, 8. Here two statements are given. P, it is holiday, and Q, it is Sunday. If it is not a Sunday, then it is not a holiday. That is Q bar tends to P bar. Inverse is formed when antecedent and consequent are interchanged. Let us see the answer. Here assertion is true, but the reason is false. I hope you all know what is inverse of an expression, what is converse of an expression, and what is contrapositive of expression. Inverse means if P tends to Q, so the inverse will become P bar tends to Q bar, whereas converse is Q tends to P bar and contrapositive is Q bar tends to P bar. So here the assertion is actually a contrapositive and not an inverse. Let's move to the next one. Here given, for the given code segment, you have to find the big O notation for worst case complexity. Now here, let us see the answer. First statement, the outer loop is going P times. Not the outer loop, the first loop. It is a separate loop. It is going P times. The second part, having a nested loop, it is going P dot Q times. So my total complexity of the statement is big O P plus big O P dot Q, or big O P plus P dot Q. Now here one thing to be understood. If I have to take the complexity of the whole statements, we have big O P plus P dot Q. But by applying dominant term, if we apply dominant term, P dot Q has a higher dominance over P. Hence, the complexity will becomes big O P dot Q. Let's move to the next one. Write the mean term of the canonical form. Here the table is given A, B, and X. A, B are the input literals. X is the output value. Here is given M. We have to find the mean term. So mean term means we have to consider the 1 in the output. So considering 1 at first position, that is M0, we get A bar dot B bar, and the last cell, that is M3, which is A dot B. Or you can write in the summation form, that is summation 0, 3. Both are correct answer. Now let's move to question 2. Question 2 having questions on postfix, infix to prefix or postfix, address calculation, output finding. First question we can see here, it's given convert the infix notation to postfix. So here we can see it's given A minus B dot C within bracket plus within bracket D into E divided by F bracket close into G. Now if you have to put the priority will come like first A minus B dot D B divided by C, within that B divided by C has a higher priority. Second, D into E divided by F. Within this, D into E will have a higher priority over division. This comes by operator associativity rule. What is operator associativity rule? When two operators have same precedence, whichever come first or appear first will be evaluated first. So in that way, if we solve, the answer comes as A, B, C divide minus D, E star F slash G star plus. Next one, address calculation. Here the address is asked for the matrix N, -1 to 10, 4 to 13. Here given the base address 1200, find the address of 2 cross 7 index position. Each is taking 2 byte storage. So the formula we have to put B plus W into I minus LR into C. I is the index of the finding address. LR is the row index of the base address. C is the total number of columns. J minus LC. J is the column index of the finding address. LC is the column index of the base address. So if we put together the values, here column, how column will be found? What is the number of columns here? Here it will come your 10. How it is coming 10? We'll see there 13 minus 4 plus 1. So 13 minus 4 is 9 plus 1, 10. So the answer is coming 1266. Let's move to the next question. Here comes output based question. You can see here one recursive function is given. You have to find the answer. Two inputs are given. One is you have to solve through the parameter value 16 and 1, another with the parameter value 9 and 1. I've solved that here. If I solve, I'm taking the first one, solve with 16 comma 1. So here m is 16, n is 1. It is going in recursion as 1 plus solve 15 cross comma 3. Then 1 plus 1 plus solve 12 comma 5. 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus solve 7 comma 7. Finally, 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus solve 0 comma 9. So 0 comma 9 will return 0. So in backtracking, it is giving 0 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 equal to 4. Similarly, if we take the next one with solve 9 comma 1, it is giving you the answer 3. This one is the working. You have to show the working. There's some marks reserved for working and some marks for the final output. Finally, what this function solve is performing, it is finding the square root of a perfect square. Next question. Here it's duck number. You all are aware of duck number. Here some fill in the blanks was given. Those you have to fill up. So according to that, the answer is first gap will be filled with I divide by I equal to I divide by 10 or I divide equal to 10. Second one, C equal to 0. And third one is F equal to minus 1. Okay. Let's move to the next question. Question 3. Question 3 is on this one. Here it's given it is a K-map story program. You can see the question. A superhero is allowed access to secure Avengers facility if he or she meet any of the following criteria. The criteria has been given and the inputs are given A, S, C, L. Let us see what the first thing. As per the first condition, superhero as Avengers member and possesses a high security clearance baggage. That means what it is coming? It is Avengers member. So A is coming there. Then possesses a high security badge. That is C is coming. So A dot C. So we can say that the first one is coming A dot C. Okay. Now let's see the second one. Superhero does not have Avengers membership but holds special permit. Special permit is S along with high security badge. That means the second one is coming not. So A bar dot S dot C. Now let us come to the next one. Superhero is not recognized ally but holds special permit with a high security. So with a high security is S dot C dot L bar. Okay. So these are the three conditions. We have to put them in the truth table. So here is the truth table. Putting the truth table here, when we are getting the truth table of AL, ACSL and find X, here X will be taken, considered for the true values. That is all the ones. So we'll first find out all ones. And then as the question asked for POS expression, you will fill the zeros, the empty cell, and then take the max term of the zeros. And finally, you will get the term. It is a little bigger term. We can get the expression as well as the max term. Finally, you have to get the Karnaugh map. Here you can see the Karnaugh map. It is forming one octet and one quad. You have to mark the octet and quad and you have to term them. So from the octet, we can see here only C is coming. The all are changing their state. So C is the result of the octet. And from the quad, it is A plus S. So reduced expression is C dot A plus S. And then it's asked to get the expression using NOR gate. Now, as it is in a POS form, you can directly get the NOR gate expression. So A plus S, we put one NOR gate, and C, we have to put a C naught for a NOR gate to negate. Finally, both will again pass through another NOR gate. Let's move to the next question. Question 4. It is again Karnaugh based question. You can see here the expressions are given here. Now it's summation. That means you have to find the mean terms. So I have put that the values here. Now here in this case, one thing you have to see, there are two possible answers. One I have marked, like you can see the center one. This is one quad, a box quad, then one rolling quad in red color mark, and 4 circles at 4 corners at the corner quad. This is one possible form. Another possible form is, instead of this red one, this red color box, rolling quad, you can take the vertical quad, which is R bar S, this one. So there's coming two answers. Quad 1 is giving you Q dot S at the center one. This is the center one is giving you Q dot S. 4 corners will give you Q bar S bar. Now either you take the vertical quad, this one if you take it is R bar S bar. If you take the rolling one, it will give you Q bar R bar. So two answers can come accordingly. And the question asks to get that expression using NAND gate. Again, if it is a SOP expression and to draw it using NAND gate, it is very simple. Original gates will be replaced by the NAND there only. Second part of the question, a logic diagram was given. It is asked you to find out what is the output of the gate 1, gate 2, and the final output R. Then you have to reduce it and get the reduced expression. So I find out number 1. At number 1, it is an XNOR gate. So it is XNOR gate. You can break it. Second one is an AND OR gate. Finally, R is, it is an NAND gate of XNOR and AND OR, which is coming to A bar plus B bar or A dot B whole bar, which is a NAND gate. Next one, question 5. What is an encoder? Draw the logic diagram of a octal to binary encoder. State one application of decoder. Second part is, by using truth table, verify the Boolean expression given there. Third one, study the logic gate diagram and answer the question given below. One by one, let us solve. First one, encoder, we all know. Encoder is a combinational circuit which inputs 2 to the power n or fewer lines and output n lines, where n represent bit code for the input. In other words, we also can say encoder is a combinational circuit which encodes input of one form to another form. Generally, it is decimal to binary, octal, decimal or octal or hexadecimal to binary form. Here it's asked octal to binary encoder. So circuit is given below. 0 to 7 is being passed, and then we'll have 3 outputs with OR gates, B0, B1, B2. Now, application of decoder, there are various application of decoders at address decoding, barcode scanner, television remote control, traffic lights control, making of multiplexer, conversion of binary to other system. It is decoder. Truth table, that was asked, and it is a valid one. Finally, the logic gate, it is giving A as 1 or true, 0 or false. Now let's move to part B. Sorry, part 2, section B, that is programming part, Java programming. First question was asked as pernicious number. What is pernicious number? Here said a pernicious number is a number which is a binary number and has minimum two digits or more than two digits, and the number of ones present in that binary number is a prime number. Like 101 having two ones where 2 is a prime number. 10110 having three ones, 3 is a prime number, whereas 1111 is not. Class structure was given. Now here you have to keep in mind, when the class structure is given, you have to strictly follow this class structure. You cannot change the class structure. You have to do according to this. Within a function, you can change or apply your own logic, but the external structure of the class cannot be changed. Otherwise, you will be penalized. Let us see the solution. Here, import statement, class, data member. Here the question asked for only one data member. So you cannot add any extra data member on your own. It said about a default constructor. I have not used any parameter as constructor, that's why. Then the accept function, it is taking the number. Here, as the question said, accept a positive binary number. I have converted it to a math.avs. If in case user entered a negative number, it will automatically convert to positive number. Then I'm checking whether the input is a binary number or not. How you can check the input is a binary number or not? Binary number will have either 1 or 0. So taking the input, I'm taking the input in a temporary variable t, extracting each digit of that number. Now extracting each digit, if that give any value greater than 1, that means it's storing any digit beyond 0 and 1. So it is not a binary number. So immediately I'm giving a message, invalid binary number and exit 0. Otherwise, the number is valid. I'm storing that number to now. Now, they are asked a question, function count 1. What will do? This function will count the number of 1 in the digit k, number of digits as 1 in the number k, and return the value using a recursive function. So now when we have to extract the digits, what would be the base case? The base case will be when the number becomes 0, it should stop recursion. So see here, if my k, the parameter k is 0, it is returning 0. So this is my base case. If the number itself reduced to 0, recursion ends there. Else, I'm doing k mod 10 plus count 1 k by 10. That is adding all the digits of k along with the next recursive call for k by 10. Now let's move to the check function. Check function is calling count1 function and passing the parameter global data num, and it is stored in the variable m. Now I'm running a loop to check whether m is a prime number. How I'm checking m is a prime number? We all know prime number has 1 and itself as a factor. So in my loop, I'm running the loop from 2 to half of the number. In between, if I get a factor, that means you are getting an additional factor other than 1 and m. In that case, it is no longer a prime number. So if I get any extra factor other than 1 and m, it is no longer a prime. So if my k value is 1, it is not a pernicious number. Even if m is 0 or 1, that is also not a prime number because it's asked for, it should be 2 digits minimum. And then otherwise it is a pernicious number. In the main method, I'm creating an object, calling both accept and check function. I'm not calling count1 function here. So you can see the output. Once I run the program, it gives this out. Let's move to the next question. This is a matrix program where it is asked, check if the sum of elements in each corresponding column are equal or not. This question comes with the object passing concept. I hope you all are aware of object passing. Object passing is where function will receive objects as a parameter and it will work on the data members of those objects. So you can see here the parameter as constructor to be created, read array function to accept the array, Boolean check function which is having two objects as a parameter, and it will check whether both the objects arrays satisfy the condition, and print will display that. Let's move to the program. Import statement, class, data members. Again, you cannot add anything extra on your own to the class structure. Parameter as constructor here is being said. To be in safe side, I'm making both passing through math.abs, and then I'm creating the array. Here I'm creating memory allocation for the array using new key. Read function to take the input from the user for the matrix. Now let's see this part. Check function which is working on the objects. So we have object A of the class column sum and object B. So object A will have its matrix. Object B will also have its matrix. It will add the corresponding column elements for A and B respectively. So I've declared two sum variables, C sum A and C sum B, both initialized to 0 in the outer loop, because every time once column completed, it will again reinitialize to 0. Now you can see the outer loop here represent the column, not the row. And the inner loop represent the row. And correspondingly, I'm adding one by one. At any point, if they are not equal, I'm immediately returning a false. No need to stay in the loop. The condition dissatisfied. If the entire matrix satisfies the loop will run, both the loop will run. Finally, it will return true. Print statement is printing both the array. Printing the matrix. In the main function, I'm creating two objects. Calling input function, read array for both the array, printing both the array, and then I'm calling here mat A dot check mat A comma mat B. You can do as mat B dot check mat A comma mat B. No problem. If they are equal, it's printing equal matrix, else not. Next question. It is a string program, Flipgram and non-hetero words. What is that here? If a word has odd number of characters, then the middle letter remain at its, here what it said, flip word is flip the letters of the left and the right half of the non-hetero words. And if the word has odd number of characters, middle letter remains same, others, the left and right will swap their position. Now what is heterogram? Heterogram is a word where no letter appear more than once. So here input is given B-E-T-T-E-R. It is a non-hetero word because both T and E are appearing more than once. At least one should appear. Never is also a non-heterogram word, but than is not a hetero. It is a heterogram. Each letter is unique. Class structure is given, flipgram, data member word, parameter as constructor, Boolean is hetero, function to check the word is a heterogram. Now see here, this function is a non-parameterized. That means this function will work on the global data word. Next function, string flip. This function will do what? It will flip the letters of the word and return it, the value, and display function. Let's proceed. Import statement, class word, class flipgram, string word, parameter, rise constructor followed by that. To be in safe side, if any extra space at the beginning or the end, we can use string function to remove them. Is hetero, what is that? You have to loop to extract each word from the string. I'm taking the word and checking word dot index of ch and word dot last index of ch. Last index will check from the end of the word, index check from the front. If both matching same, that means that word appears only once. If they are not the same index, then the word is repeated. So we are counting. Now if the total number, the word that is matching with index of and last index of coming equal to the length, that means it is a heterogram word. Flip word, I'm first extracting the letter. Left hand side letter extracted. Now if the length, I'm first getting the length of the length is even, just the right word you have to find out and replace them. Otherwise you have to find the middle letter. Okay, so I'm extracting the middle letter with this one. Char C equals to what dot caret? Right word, right plus C, left, right, return left plus right. Then void display. If is hetero, calling it heterogram. Otherwise, flip function is being called main method. I'm creating the object and calling the function. Output you can see over here. Okay, so this is part 2, section B, Java programs. One is from number, one is from 2D array, one is from string. I will move to section C. Here each question carries 5 marks. The first question is here as circular queue. You can see here class structure is given, and here the entire class is given in the question, but you have been asked to do only some of the functions. So here it said void push int and int remove. Push will push the element in the circular queue, remove will remove the element from the circular queue. And then finally one application of circular queue asked. So here the function, I have done this one. In circular queue, you can go through my video on data structure. On circular queue, it is data structure video 2, second video. There in detail, I have already explained about circular queue, DQ, and data structure video 1 on stack and queue. You can understand clearly about all types of circular queues and stack. So in circular queue, the push function, it is rear plus 1 modulus cap. What is the cap? Is the capacity equals to front. Okay. One thing I forgot is one extra bracket is needed. I missed it out. Sorry for that. So after if there will be one more bracket followed by another bracket for rear plus 1 modulus. So if the rear plus 1 modulus cap and front both come to same point, Q is full. Otherwise, here rear will be increased as rear plus 1 modulus cap, and then finally I'm doing Q rear equals to value V. int remove. Here, if front and rear both equals, it return minus 999 as it was asked in the question. If any print message is said, that print message should be there. I think I have missed out. Here it's no, it's not said any print message to be given. Okay. Otherwise, front equal to front plus 1 modulus cap and return Q front. Application of circular Q, actually application of circular Q, DQ, Q, all are similar. It is CPU scheduling, memory management, network traffic management, printer spooling, keyboard input buffer. Question 10 is on inheritance. Here base class and child class will be given in the question, but you have to write about the child class only. Here one thing you have to keep in mind, if the child class constructor is parameterized, then see what is the base class constructor and what are the data mem, because you need to work on that. Base class data is constructor is also parameterized and having 4 members in the base class. So in the parameterized constructor, you have to take care of that. How? I'm showing in the answer. Then the void cal function and void show function. Here again, you can see base class also have a same name function, void show, child class also have same name. How to resolve this one? I'll show this. So child class code first is class passenger extends flight. This extends is a very important keyword. Extends allow passenger class to access the members of the flight class. Data members of the passenger class has been mentioned here. Now see the passenger class constructor. Base class has been 4 member functions. Passenger class having 4 more member functions. But out of 4 member functions of passenger class, only 2, that is ID and name, has to be taken from the user. Tax and tot will be calculated. So total input from the user will be 6. From 4 from base class and 2 from child class. So you can see in the constructor, passenger, there are 6 parameters. First 4 is being passed to the base class with the keyword super. Super will invoke the base class constructor, and this should be the first line in the constructor. Otherwise, you will be penalized. Followed by the other 2 data members of the base child class. They will be initialized from the remaining parameters. Okay, one thing I have again done wrong here. Yes, this is correct. Tax and tot is initialized with 0.0. So ID with E, name with F, and A, B, C, D being transferred to parent class. Cal function is calculating the tax and tot. In the show function, I'm calling the base class member function show with super.show and remaining called over here. Next and the last question is from linked list and tree. So linked list, here you can either write the algorithm or the code. Question is asked, the node is given class cell with 1 character member and the pointer right. What you have to do, you have to print the sum of the ASCII value of the lowercase alphabets in the linked list. So you can see the algorithm. Algorithm is simple and straightforward. Let us move to the code. Taking the cell pointer str, sum is 0. I'm taking a temporary object of cell t. While t not equals to null, I'm extracting each letter. 2 lowercase if it is matched, adding it, moving to the next cell, t equal to t dot right, and printing this. Next, binary tree is being given. Some questions here. In order traversal of the right subtree, that is the right subtree is this one, this portion from C to this one. and left subtree is this one from B and below. So in order traversal of right subtree, depth of the entire tree and depth of node E, two things. And the external nodes of the left subtree, internal nodes of the right subtree. So answer is here. So that's all from my end. You can see this. I'll post the link. You can see this file, PDF file in my website. I'll provide this in the description. You can download the solution from there also. Thank you.